A New Zealand food story is brought to you by the Balance Farm Environment Awards.
Ahi's been open for 18 months now. I'm super proud of what we've achieved, but now I want to move on and discover what's next for this restaurant. We have to unearth more things in this country. I know they're out there. I know there's some amazing suppliers. How can I be the best I can be if I don't go visit these people? If I don't go learn from them, understand the ingredients? You can't find the answers to those questions in the restaurant, on the hotline, sweating your bollocks off, plating food every night. You have to get out there. So we're gonna. That's what we're doing. My adventure begins high in the Hunter Hills of South Canterbury. It's early, but it's worth it for the sunrise. As a chef, you never have the opportunity to get out of the kitchen. Here I am in the Hunter Hills of all places, and I'm going to hunt wallaby. What an interesting ingredient, especially for New Zealand. I can't wait. If you wanted to put a dream team together to take on the wallabies, it would be these legends. There's Darren, the godfather, Hayden, the young prodigy, Al, the silent assassin, and Milo, the wallaby whisperer. Premium Game is family owned and operated, and they know the purest foods are foraged in the wild and go from peak to plate.
I look for that shape, and it's normally the ears, just a couple little ears sticking up out of up out of the scrub. It's kind of like that telltale wallaby shape. Oh, yeah, whoa. See, just on the bum, I think. He just ducked in there. He hasn't moved yet. There he is. He's just moving now, moving across. There he goes. So there's a couple of wallaby just in this gut here. They're hiding out in the shadows. So hopefully we get one straight away. Shut up, Milo. Nice. Now you got him? Yep. We've literally just hit the hills and have our first wallaby. It shows how many there are here. Early settlers introduced the wallaby in the 1800s, and they have now become pests, doing huge damage to this beautiful countryside. It's crazy to think that, like, most New Zealanders don't know that there's these little kangaroos running around wild.
Yep.
I mean, they're sort of like the ground possum in a way.
They are a ground possum, yep, absolutely. So when we're shooting these, we're looking for a headshot, and that's because if you look at them, they've got a very funny shaped anatomy. If you end up with a shot down in here, you are effectively damaging all this meat through here.
People of Australia have been eating these animals for 50,000 years, and it's so crazy to think that now we have a wild population of wallaby that we also conserve at the restaurant. You know, with our rivalry with the wallabies and rugby, I think it would give the Kiwis a little bit of heart to chow down on some wallaby in the restaurant. At Ahi, the young chefs in the kitchen are super keen. Out here on the hills, Hayden reminds me a lot of them. How did you get into hunting?
Hunting probably come naturally with me. My dad he hunted every weekend. And then I think my mum asked me, do you want to play sport? I was like, nope, I just want to go hunting. Yeah. And that's how it was. So I guess I'm fairly lucky. Yeah. It's passed down through family, I guess. Yeah. Even my granddad and before him, all of my family's always hunted. Yeah. And the meat side of things, like I've never ever bought meat. Yeah. Ever.
Really?
If I want some meat, I go and shoot it myself, and that's me. Yeah.
You'll teach your kids one day?
That's the plan, yeah.
Better crack on with it, eh?
Yeah, I better get on to that. No pressure. Let's go have a look.
These guys are absolute professionals. They're trying to get a clean kill. They're trying to recover the meat. I mean, this is no joke. This is what they do for a living. They've got the utmost respect for the land and for the animal. While they have the utmost respect for the animal, I just need to gain some respect. I need to get a wallaby. So we have almost a sense of urgency now as the sun almost pushes the wallabies down the hill.
Once you get that heat, we lose that chance to pick them up out and about. So we'll get another few minutes. Once the sun comes around, they're gone. There's two there. Two. Hey.
I can see him. Yeah.
Hey, you can see him, right?
Yeah.
Nice and clear.
Clear as a bell. I can't see it, only can see its head. It's just gone. Oh, there it is.
Oh, you flattened him. Nice work, well done.
Oh, sheesh.
Under the pressure.
I was trying to slow my heart rate down. It's so weird when it's all calm walking up, and then as soon as you know, your fingers touching the trigger,
Yep.
it's quite a surreal experience if you're not a hunter.
Yep. The more we do, the better you get,
Yeah.
the more calm you get. But
Yeah.
I've been hunting since I was 16,
Yeah.
and there's still that flutter of the heart every time. Well done.
Thank you.
You know, an animal's life should be celebrated. And even though we take it and we eat it, you know, it should be a celebration. For us, we do it, you know, this is our job. And this is what we love to do. And getting paid to do something like this is awesome. Coming from a hunting background where you harvest the meat and you bring it to the table, it's also nice to see that passion with Ben doing something that you love.
Besides hunting, I've got an ulterior motive to coming here. Do you know what it is? You look worried. I really want more people to eat game, and that's truly what I want. I was just thinking of a way to present Wallaby in the restaurant that will give it a real sense of place. So I've taken a rock from the river. What I want to do is I want to take that hot rock out to the restaurant, and I want the guests to cook the Wallaby on the rock. So you're going to have a crack. God, this works. Then sort of want to chuck a bit of watercress there. I want to fold it like that. Then I want the customer to maybe dip in some sort of special sauce. And then... That was awesome.
I don't think we'll make it look quite as smooth as that.
New Zealand is a great country for raising game. Although we don't have a lot of native game species, there's been a lot of introduced species here, and now they're a bloody pest. Also, the meat is absolutely delicious and underrated. Hayden, do you like wallaby tail?
To be honest, I've never ever tried it. This will be the first.
It's funny because you think about it, it's actually a big part of the animal, isn't it?
You know, I've eaten a bit of oxtail stew, and that beats that easily.
So often you get a product at the restaurant, but you have no clue about its whakapapa, you know, its genealogy. It's just a piece of meat wrapped in plastic.
Yep.
And now, when you eat wallaby here, I just hope I can get it to taste as good at the restaurant as it is right now, because that's the challenge too. When you sit here and you look at the hills and look around, things taste really good, you know.
Coming up, I have to try to impress a big North Canterbury farmer and go back to school with a smooth talking shepherd.
So we've just come down from high up in the Mackenzie Country. Now we're heading down to the Canterbury Plains to learn about veal. Veal is such an underutilised and under-respected ingredient in New Zealand. We make great milk and we grow great beef in New Zealand. However, veal is stuck in the middle and we don't do anything with it.
Bobby calves are often a byproduct, born so their mums can produce milk and typically taken off the farm after only a few days and used in other industries like pet food. But Alan McDermott and farmer Tim Delaney are trailblazing a path to do something about it.
Hey,
How are
g'day,
ya?
Ben. How you going, man?
Good to see you.
Real good to see you, man. This is Tim.
Tim,
This is
how
Eddie.
are you, mate?
Yeah, good to see you, Ben.
So this is where the veal are from.
That's right. This is where it all starts, mate.
So beautiful here, look at it, wow.
So I think what you guys should do, head away. I'm going to take care of the coals, get some coals going so we can
Awesome.
cook. Get you go and see what's happening on the farm, mate.
Sounds like a plan. Are
Righto.
you gonna double me or?
You can run.
I can run.
You can run.
Now that I've made a great first impression, it's time to put in the mahi.
Yes, Throwing them on, or are you holding and stacking them?
I'll throw them on. I better take my shirt off though. It's bloody hot. Is he going to drive closer or is he going to make me walk?
Come on, Ben, run. That's how we normally do it, Ben.
I pay money to do this at the gym. Whew.
That's about the guts of it.
You reckon I can come on board and stack some hay?
Absolutely. The way you went today was great. Yeah, surprised everyone, I think. Yeah.
I hear you're short of labour.
We have been short of labour. It doesn't help when you have one labour unit stuck in Japan for nearly 2 years.
Oh my gosh.
I'm lucky because my staff have been with me for a long time.
Yeah.
Well, Phil, that does the calf room with Kelly, they've been here 22 years.
What?
Yeah.
That's amazing. Must be a good bugger, eh?
On a good day, I can be a prick too, to be fair, yeah. But you try your best to look after them.
The aim here is to save the bobby calves to do rose veal. Calves are able to roam free for 12 months, eat grass, drink milk from their mothers, and gain weight up to 160 kilos.
So what made you sort of want to get into this program where we make New Zealand veal?
I've never really liked setting bobby calves because most dairy farmers is a byproduct.
Yeah.
But well, they're good live animals, and I find it really hard to put them on a truck, so we end up keeping a lot of them anyway.
Do you think it's going to be a big thing in New Zealand for dairy farmers to get into programs like this?
If there's enough value at the other end, yeah.
Yeah.
I think there would be.
Looking forward to trying some today.
Absolutely.
I think Alan's got a big spread ready for us. I've got to do the cooking, unfortunately.
Tim's a good bloke, a great boss, and looks a bit rough around the edges, but he's got a big heart. So it's time for me to feed the big fella.
So this is a classic T-bone. You've got the eye fillet here and the beautiful sirloin. So the key with T-bone is that somehow you have to cook it evenly. So you've got an eye fillet and a sirloin that both cook really quickly in a way, but you've got this big bone in the middle, which doesn't cook. So somehow the trick is you've got to transfer the heat through the outside of the meat to the bone, but without overcooking the meat. So it's quite a tricky cut. Every few minutes we'll give it a turn just to transfer the heat nice and evenly.
Okay, while the T-bone's cooking, I'm going to crack on to the tartare.
So we're going to make an Italian tartare. Italians, they make tartare a little bit differently, and it's literally lemon juice, olive oil, salt, and a bit of herb. I always love at the restaurant introducing people to raw meat.
I didn't get that fat without being cooked.
Stop whinging, mate, just get it done all right. You got some skills, mate.
Not
Looks
very
like
often.
it's been cut on a
Jeffa
slicer.
tells me what to do, eh?
Hey, I'm from the Waikato, all right, so don't insult me.
Sorry, Ben.
This meat is so pure and clean, it just makes a perfect tartare. And veal and fennel go so well together.
Ben.
Took a small bit.
Yeah. Not greedy. Tell the guys want some. It's good, eh?
It's good. When you're cooking meat, there's several senses that you need to activate. So first of all, you can smell it. First of all, you can see it, and you can see the way the shape of the meat changes. For example, you can see the way the meat sort of pulls back from the bone. When you're frying something in the restaurant, you can hear it cooking. And so often you have your back and you're doing many things at once. So you use your ears a lot to cook, which seems weird, but it's what we do. We want the inside of this meat to be around about 55. How do I guess that? Well, I can see it. I can feel it. If I'm a bit nervous, I'll take it off early because, you know, it's eye fillet and sirloin. You don't want to overcook those. So you want to have them sort of rare-ish.
I think that's one of the things that comes through is that the way you rear the animal really comes through in the flavour of the meat that you produce. We are focusing purely about what's best for the animal, and that is about whole milk. It's about fresh pasture, and really caring farmers.
Yeah, it's almost like you've got to keep it simple, right? You just look after the animal.
Yeah.
You don't need to worry about the end result really,
That's
because
right.
you've taken care of, you've done all this work over here.
That's right.
So
yeah,
everything spits out the end really well. Rump cap's killer, eh? It's back to you, mate. Here you go. So the eye fillet, the sirloin, and the rump cap. Take the board, knock yourself out.
Thanks, Ben. Looks good. Shit, it's not bad, eh?
Up next, I'm high in the hills with young shepherds, and a young shepherd ahi creates an amazing dish. On the shores of Lake Coleridge in the Rakaia Gorge, with views of the Southern Alps, lies the training farm, Coleridge Downs. This place is beautiful. We're heading up to meet Carrie, the block manager or farm manager of Lumina Lamb. Carrie is the head of the cadet scheme there as well. We all know how important it is to leave our industry in a better place, so I'm looking forward to seeing how these guys train their cadets and see if I can apply some of their philosophies to our young people at the restaurant too. It's been a 15-year journey for Lumina Lamb to create the perfect sheep breed, ideally suited for the Canterbury Hills. The lambs are born here in the springtime.
So yeah, the lambs are born sort of late September up here.
Yeah.
Essentially left in their free-range environment. We just monitor them as they're lambing.
Yeah.
And then yeah, they're just roaming all this tussock country, high country sort of stuff for 2 to 3 months till now, till January.
Yeah.
And then we muster them all down for weaning, get them onto chicory.
So Lumina Lamb is Finn, Texel, Perrindale,
And Romney.
Romney.
Yep.
It's almost like you've made your own breed, right? So you've made
Yep.
your own Hunterway of sheep or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So they've sort of got the best out of all the breeds and combined them into one.
Every effort is made to keep the lamb healthy and happy. This produces the greatest tasting lamb. They also produce some of the best young farmers in New Zealand through their cadet scheme. Carrie has come through the cadet scheme and is wise beyond his years. Or maybe it's just the voice. You look like you've got more experience. I'm trying to say this respectfully.
Yeah.
You look like you've got a bit more experience than a 22-year-old. So it's obviously a great program. You learned heaps.
Yep, learned an awful lot. So I came from the middle of Christchurch. I was a townie.
Wow.
And I went to one of my uncle's farms and got a bit of a passion for farming there. And that was when I was 12 years old. And then sort of followed it every school holidays after that.
Wow.
And college was just starting the cadet scheme at the time.
Yeah.
Applied and managed to get in and just loved every minute of it.
Must be pretty hectic to get in.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of people that unfortunately miss out.
From a chef's perspective, it's amazing to be up here. Often, chefs are opening packets of lamb in Auckland, right? And they have no clue about the environment that these animals are reared in. So right now we're up in the high country.
Yep.
What's the process for the day from here?
So today we're mustering in for weaning, and then they're going to take them down the track all the way to the yard, and then they get weighed, and then if they're up to the weight that we want them to go into chicory, go straight on.
It's a big job.
Yeah, and to also control your team of dogs.
Yeah.
It's a huge challenge. Like a lot of these cadets are obviously only they're young dogs. They're training them as they go, essentially. So to be able to focus on all these things, making sure you're not missing anything, control your dogs. Some of them have 2 or 3 dogs. It's quite a lot going on.
Seeing these cadets in action makes you appreciate the skill involved with shepherding, this noble and ancient profession. Just to get the lambs to the yards, you have to have your wits about you. So what's the full body weight you're looking for these lambs?
So today we're drafting off above 41 kilos.
Yeah.
We'll be going to the works, and then anything under that, or if it hasn't done their 35 days, we'll be keeping for another couple of weeks till they're up to weight.
So we're going to see if you've done your job, really.
We'll hopefully see that.
Each lamb has a tag that helps the team keep track of its condition and movements. But keeping track of Carrie's movements today is second-year farm cadet Emily. So you're a second-year farm cadet on Coleridge.
Yeah.
What was your first day like?
Hectic is probably the best way to describe it. It was awesome, sort of day I'll never really forget, weaning up here first thing, and Tony's on the drafting gates and the sun's just coming up over there, and everything's going nuts and trying to get your head around everything and sweating your bum off over in those races over there. Yeah, it's great, I love it.
You did really well at school. You were the head girl of your high school, right?
Yeah.
And so were people surprised when you said, hey, I'm going to go farming?
Yeah, Mum and Dad certainly didn't really think that coming here was going to be my point of call first up. They always thought I'd go to university, but I've got absolutely no regrets because I want to be hands-on and I want to do it. I don't want to sit in a lab.
It blows me away how much you have to know. It's not just about sending some lamb up the hill, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's what I love about farming is just the variation. Just every single day is different, and every day, quite often requires a different skill set. So you've just got to be able to just go out there and give it a go and throw your hand at everything, and eventually pick things up along the way. You have your strengths and you have your things you're not quite so good at, but you know, it's always something to work on.
They're growing good.
Yeah, good.
When the lambs come off the hill and are 32 kilos, they move on to chicory crop for 35 days. It's actually quite striking seeing the contrast between the rugged hills and the lush green pastures.
If you crush down here and have a look, I mean, it looks like a salad I'd serve in the restaurant to our guests.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Maybe we should do something with chicory and lamb. Is that too obvious?
Maybe. But certainly, if you're a lamb, you'd want to eat this, wouldn't you? I mean, look at it.
What does the chicory bring to the meat, the flavour? Does it add flavour to the meat?
Absolutely. Certainly increases the omega-3 levels in the meat, intramuscular fats.
Yep.
Real positive effect on that. Certainly just eating quality.
What does that bring to the group?
Probably a sense of pride that we're making such a good quality product that you guys as chefs love. And we're getting a lot of good feedback that everyone just loves the product now.
I'm just thinking about what to do with what's the next Lumina lamb dish.
Yeah.
I'd love to get a regular supply of this actually, because you know this is fit for human consumption. This is delicious.
Yeah.
You know, bitter greens, they really cut through rich ingredients like lamb.
Yeah.
Obviously, putting it on the grill is a no-brainer. Again, to cut through the fat, but then to pair it up with something like this. So I think we might have to get some
chicory in the mix.
Get some chicory or some sort of dandelion down.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Getting to spend time with the Coleridge cadets as well as Hayden, the hunting prodigy, definitely inspires me to help grow our young talent at Ahi. Seeing those young people given responsibility is really inspiring, you know. So we've got some young chefs here, and a big part of Ahi is actually giving this responsibility to our young people, our young chefs. Today we're going to look at one of our young stars, Josh, who's got a huge future ahead of him. So today I've given him the Lumina lamb and some chicory that the lamb eats, and he's got a challenge. He's got to make a dish. As a young chef, I was lucky enough to have some great mentors, and now I look at my young team and I want the same thing for them. I want them to be better than me.
So it's kind of based on a story when growing up, had alpacas with my mum. When we came back from home, it was always obviously freezing cold, so we used to have leek and potato soup.
Yeah, nice.
So there's kind of a twist on that.
Dude, I love it. It's got the lamb from Rakaya Gorge. It's got the chicory that the lamb eats. It's got the vegetables from our garden, and then everything is cooked over the fire, which is a big part of Ahi. You know, I love it how you've tied chicory back into this, because obviously the lamb is fattened by eating chicory before it heads off to the abattoir. So that's awesome, and I love it how you've tied the story back into your childhood too. So, but the clever thing about the wording of leek and potato soup is not something you associate with lamb, if you know what I'm saying. So when the guests read the menu and they see like lamb, leek and potato soup, or however you're going to word it, it's going to be super interesting. It's going to be intriguing for them, right? I think it's a winner. So why don't we chuck it on the menu tonight and see what the guests think?
Yeah, wonderful.
You know, I'm super proud of Josh. He's come so far in the last year and a half with us, and I'm really excited what the future brings for him.
Coming up next time, this little chef goes to market, I take a deep dive into spearfishing, literally, and I try my hand at the ancient technique of charcuterie.